It's exactly 8:34 a.m. News and views on Salam Media and musical chairs time once again. We are talking with Julius Kleynhans, Executive Manager for the Local Government Division at OUTA and a founding partner of the Joburg Crisis Alliance. A very good morning to you. Welcome to the program.
Always a pleasure. Thank you, Julie.
Okay, I say that tongue in cheek, but it is a very serious matter, is it not? I mean, we're now once again talking about the resignation of Kabelo Gwamanda. He is the Johannesburg mayor, the second candidate that Al Jamar had put up for mayor of Johannesburg. There are quite a number of issues. First and foremost, obviously, is non-delivery. Johannesburg, the city of gold, in a state of unbelievable decay. And so here comes Julius Kleynhans and OUTA and Crisis Alliance saying that he needs to be removed. Are we going to be taken seriously this time around? Will they remove him? And who is the preferred candidate for this position going forward? We do know the ANC are going to put someone up for this lucrative position, this top position, so to speak.
Julie, you're right. I think it is time. We're going to see the change, hopefully in the next month and a half. Not entirely sure if it'll happen in this week. Sadly, the musical chairs is a real thing. And I think that's really the concern we've got, especially if you look at the maturity of politics taking place. It's completely irresponsible, I think, the last 2 to 3 years on how the council has dealt with itself at the expense of citizens and businesses. So we will most likely see someone like Dada Morero from this ANC putting his hand up for the position. But yeah, I'm not a political analyst and we don't really want to delve into that. What we're currently calling for is the removal of the mayor and the mayoral committee in its entirety. Because it's not the one person that's failed the city. It is really a collective of the leadership. And that is really what we need. We need proper, mature leadership within the city. Ideologies aside, it's a municipality that needs to deliver services, and that's what we all need. And I think especially if you look at the draconian decisions that's been made in increases in tariffs, the prepaid surcharge, and then the additional expenses that the city is trying to cover with the new revenue like blue light brigades and things like that, these luxuries. I think this is a time in the economy where we need trusted, seasoned politicians to step up and hopefully turn the tide. And I think if the right leadership come into place with the right plan and more of a medium to long-term vision, business and society will back them and all hands on deck, because that's what's needed to turn the ship.
Julius, the fish rots from the head down. Is it feasible to call for the entire mayoral committee to step aside or step down? Should we not just hold the one person, and that is the mayor in this regard, hold him totally responsible for non-delivery and have him step aside or step down and then just get a new mayor in place? You also mentioned Dada Morero. He served a mere 25 days as a mayor previously. Is there much confidence in him taking over?
I do not believe there's sufficient confidence. I think it's a bit of a gamble that he's had to play to get into the position. It doesn't look like there's a lot of support in council, but we'll have to see with the new GNU and all these other kind of names that's popping up. I see Action South Africa, Action SA has put up their hand to partner with the ANC and hopefully have some influence, but we need continuity. That's really what we need. We need a clear plan, and we need to have a back to basics kind of program. I think the city and whoever is the leader, if they can start looking at a zero-based budget approach, to really start seeing what the cost of supplying basic services and maintenance should be for the city, and then allocate budget accordingly. And then following that, they can determine what additional focus areas there should be. But it just seems like money is being spent. They're asking for additional loans, which is not going to make a difference. You can throw 50 billion rand at this municipality with its current leadership, and in a year or two, you'll find yourself in the same position. So we need to look at the infrastructure and creating efficiency with the municipal entities. And yes, you're right. Everything starts with leadership, and we need to hold them to account and know that in 2 years from now, it's local government elections. So I think whatever and whoever takes power now needs to prove their weight in gold so that they can actually unlock the potential of the city. We all need that. And I think this is our opportunity as civil society and business to really get well organized, to take part in events and activities such as the Joburg Crisis Alliance. This Saturday at 10 to 12, we've got a protest action at the Joburg Metro Center calling for action, and we have specific demands, and it's not unreasonable. It is really just the basics. And obviously, there's other things that need to be looked at. The indigent register. I think there's so many people in the city that live below the poverty line that are really struggling and in need of these grants to be allocated towards them to cover for basic services. This needs a lot of work to get it updated, but yet we see Treasury paying out specific grants to bring aid. That money is thrown into the municipal pot and it doesn't get to the people. So what is happening with all this money? City Power is losing 25% of its electricity that's just lost in the grid. Joburg Water is losing almost 40% of its water. And yet every year we see increases, and guess who needs to pay for the city's inefficiencies? This needs to stop. There's also a lot of good officials within the city. They need to be protected. They need the right leadership to help turn things around.
You indicated that we need continuity for this to be workable. So is it still feasible to ask for the entire mayoral committee to step down as well?
Look, I think it's still feasible. I think the desperation that the city finds itself in with a budget that's not funded, that was passed by the very council, that is now still there. The very council also approved the surcharge. So I think that's where individuals and viewers need to hold their councillors to account and determine who these people are, who's passing these things. Look, there's a legislative process that needs to be followed, and I'm sure that we can expect some musical chairs within the MMC mayoral committee, and maybe we won't see everyone go, but hopefully we'll see a lot of change.
In an interview on another platform, Hanif Hendricks suggested that this current situation where OUTA is calling for the OUTA and a whole host of other parties as well, calling for the removal of the mayor, he suggested that it's just media creating a frenzy amongst, the citizens of Gauteng, Johannesburg in particular, obviously, suggesting that the public and media hadn't given a chance to Kabelo, and now they're out for Gwamanda. How do you respond to that?
Look, I think the proof is in the pudding. You can see things falling apart all around you. And let's be honest, to fix the city is going to take most likely a decade or two. But we need proper leadership. We don't need people to come and make enemies of the public. We need public servants. We need transparency. We need ethical leadership that actually comes and gathers the parties, get proper input on decision making, make informed decisions, and give feedback on progress all the time. That's what we need. We don't need any politicians to come and tell us what we already know or to make false promises. So we need proper leadership. It doesn't matter from which party this is. We need someone we can believe in and someone that we want to support. And saying that, they need a clear plan and they need to be held to account.
Okay, I think that's your phone. Do you want to switch it off? All right, it's gone off. No problem. What are your thoughts as OUTA regarding, there seems to be a lot of skepticism around this issue, but the chance, the very high possibility of Action South Africa partnering with the ANC and Action South Africa are defending their position, saying that with them working hand in hand with the ANC, they will be able to get deliverables out of the ANC. I mean, in the past, Herman Mashaba was not even willing to look at the ANC, never mind talk with him, have discussions with him. Do you think that if he comes on board and forms some sort of a partnership, that we will start seeing the city turning around and getting the deliverables that we so sorely lacked in the past?
Look, one has a hope for proper partnership and the professionalizing of the public service. I think there's a lot of people that's really equipped to do the work. What worries me when politicians speak like that, it almost sounds like they want to come in and change things. They have to have clear plan and oversight, but they need to give the actual officials space to do their work and hold them to account. I think that's really important. It's difficult to trust any political alliances at the moment. Even the one with the current mayor is an alliance. It's a coalition that I suppose, according to many, should never have happened. But, it's almost like they sometimes trying to put the sheep, as a person that's going to fall at the end amongst the wolves. So I think what's very important is that the public demands clarity on whatever these coalitions are, what the agreements are between the parties, so that that's transparent, and the actions and the deliverables with deadline dates. And I think what we need to start seeing as civil society is when a project is allocated a budget, that we all know who the person is or the company that gets the tender. We all know when the deadline is. We all see the progress on the funding that's been paid out, and when the progress that's being made throughout the whole process. We need proper, clear transparency. And should a partnership such as the Action SA and the ANC or whatever this is fails, we need to be informed to make decisions in future to hold them to account. Because currently we're seeing that the politics have become so irresponsible that is really to gain power, or one has to question what the gains are within these political institutions. But it's clear, in our city and in the municipality that the roads are falling apart. The electricity is it's not sustainable, and water supply in what was or what's supposed to be known as the major and best city in Africa, and I think that is what we need to start pushing back towards. But we have to become more active as civil society.
Absolutely, and that's where we leave it. Julius Kleynhans, Executive Manager for the Local Government Division at OUTA and funding partner of the Joburg Crisis Alliance. And I always ask myself, what would we have done without OUTA? We need more such civil societies and such organizations to hold government and government officials accountable, because they truly are doing marvelous work. So thank you indeed. We do appreciate all of your efforts. Go well, and I'm sure we will be talking lots more in the coming days. God bless.
Thanks. Thank you, Julie. You too. Thank you.
It is exactly 8:48 News and Views moving along. In a short while, we will be talking about a very important and wonderful event coming up. And that, of course, is the Palestine Youth Event and Family Market. Our guest is Rehana Isubhavi. She is a member of the Social Intifada Group. So please do stay with us.